In this video, we're going to go over how to use the Loft tool by creating a guide curve to get a twisted look like this part you're seeing right here. It might be something that might be used for some sort of fancy railing, fancy lamp, or something like that. As you can see, this item twists about 2 revolutions during its 16-inch height. So we'll go over the tools to do this and how to do it, and that'll be the end of this tutorial. To create the twist, we're going to have to start out by creating some sketches on some planes. So we're going to go to I already switched to my isometric view, and then we're going to go to our XZ plane, and we're going to start our 2D sketch. In this case, I am going to use my center rectangle tool to, from the center, make a 5x5 square. Zoom out a little bit, and that's what I need to do. I'll finish from there. I'll zoom out some. We're going to use our offset from plane creation tool. From our XZ plane, we're going to go up 8 inches and create that plane. Next, I'll go ahead and select it and start a 2D sketch on it. And I am going to draw the exact same square. Now, for reference, in some softwares like SolidWorks, I'd be able to come out here and I'd be able to click on a reference point there to make the same size. Inventor Pro does not work like that, so I just do have to do 5 and 5 again. There are some things you can do with projecting geometry that could make that a little easier if this was a complicated sketch, but with the fact that it's just center rectangle, it's pretty easy. But I will show it to you on the next one. So we'll go ahead and we'll offset from plane, go from this one up 8 inches again. And again, just for reference, even though it's probably unnecessary in this easy of a sketch, if I go ahead and I just get the project geometry tool, and I could click on the endpoint right here, I'll then get a little yellow crosshair there. And once I've projected the geometry, I can draw my square from one point to the other point and get the exact right size. And go ahead and finish there. And you'll see that's why that one's fully constrained, but doesn't have any dimensions showing. That's how you would do that if you wanted to, if you needed to, again, if it was a more complex shape. So from there, we can now make our guide curve. Because right now, if we make a loft, all it's going to do is basically make a rectangular solid. We want it to twist. And I said before twice, it's not twice, it's half. So I'm going to show you how to make this guide curve using a 3D sketch. So as with anything that has a drop-down arrow, I can start a 3D sketch. Now you'll notice a 3D sketch does not have a plane, which is why I needed my references first. So I'm going to go to my spline tool and I'm going to make sure I have the interpolation spline, because the other one selects vertices. This one, as you can see from this blowed up part, helps you to create a spline that kind of follows some points that you can click. And so what we're going to do is we are going to click, sorry, I lost my cursor here. It doesn't want to work. So let's get my cursor back. We'll grab our spline tool. We're going to come down on an endpoint here. And I picked the lowest one on my square. And I'm going to pick the left endpoint there. And now I'm going to pick the upper or rear endpoint there. And as you can see, it creates this bend. And when I'm all done, I click OK, and I create this spline. If I hold Shift and roll my mouse button around, you can see that what I did was made a curve that touches these squares at all 3 of those points, which makes it real handy to do my loft. So we'll go ahead and create our we'll get out of our 3D sketch, and we'll go ahead and pick loft. Now I'll pick my selections like I did before, where I went from the bottom to the middle to the top. And as you can see, it just makes a square. And then when I click on this, the rails, or what other softwares will call a guide curve, I can now pick my 3D sketch. And as you can see, that causes it to twist. If I had gone the other way, I would have twisted the other way. So when I say OK, I now get my twisted surface right here. And again, like I did before, if I don't want to see my work planes, I can uncheck visibility on both of those. You can see how this changes over here. But now I've got everything showing. So like we did before, we're going to go ahead and just drop this down. We're going to use iron. This time we're going to use iron gray. And once we get iron gray in there as the material, you'll be able to pop your, again, save this as twist. You'll be able to get your iProperties out, go over to project, go ahead and screenshot it with this showing. And then you can also go to the physical tab to get your mass for the turn-in sheet. And that's the end of this one.